everybody. Welcome to Recovery Journals, 12-step day 4 recovery meeting. So we're going to do some fun stuff here tonight. But before that, we started talking about a funny story. As soon as Lisa tells us if she can hear us.
I haven't got a notification that you're live yet.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, we're not going to. It's up there.
Okay, may just take a minute to send the notification.
All right, so tell them a funny story about. I'm going to tell one about rehab, because we were saying funny stuff that happened because I almost just tripped over something over here. All right, ladies, so what happened funny was I was in rehab back in the day, which was quite a long time ago, and I walked up to the lunch line, and you know how like in a lunchroom, in a rehab, it was the males and females could eat together. Well, I walked up and I got some food or something off of the lunch line, and I felt like everybody was looking at me, and I slipped. And I fell and I crashed down to the floor with my food. It was like a moment where you're either going to be embarrassed and close up or laugh. I laughed my butt off. It was like one of the first times I laughed in recovery. Probably the first or second time. You got to remember the first time you laughed and again in recovery. All right. Well, while we're on that note, while our brains are thinking, we are going to do our recovery journal meeting, and then we're going to do a stress relief treatment. And so we're going to get started with Lisa. You got the steps up there yet? Yeah, we're up there. Okay, so Lisa just checked and we know we're up there. So now we'll get started with our meeting. Unless anybody thought of something really funny. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, this isn't funny, but all right, so we want to put a shout out before we get started here to Tiffany, if Tiffany's watching this. So Tiffany's on this road of recovery, and it's been quite the road for her. You'll probably be seeing her again. You saw Tiffany come up and talk to you guys about she's on an MAT program, and she's coming off of that program, and you heard her come up here on Facebook probably about, what, Lisa, was it like 2 months ago? Yeah, so she's still on that road, and we're still with her. So Tiffany, we want you to know, we're sending out love and support from all of us to you. Hang in there. Right, ladies?
Supporting you from afar.
Supporting you from afar. So you can have this. We're not doing anything magical, right?
Right.
We just have to show up. Our love and our hearts go out to you on this road of recovery. And with that, we'll open with the Serenity Prayer. God,
grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference, just for today.
All right. I'm gonna hand you my little mic right there. I'll lean into you. Hello.
Hi. My name is Melanie. I'm an addict.
Hey, Melanie.
Hey, Melanie.
All right, these are the 12 steps of recovery. 1, we admitted that we were powerless over having problems, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4, we made a searching, fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, we humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8, we made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9, we made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, we continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to any person who is struggling to practice these principles in all of our affairs.
Okay, thanks. All right, so Kim's going to read and then we're doing pass the mic. So once we start sharing, just pass that mic that Kim has. All right, go ahead. She's going to get us started with the meditation.
I'm Kim and I'm an addict.
Hey, Kim.
As a little girl, I cried all over your book.
Okay, I'm sorry. Edit that. It's not. Are you coming in? No. Okay.
Okay. As a little girl, I cried all over your books, God, as I sought refuge in the terror wreaking havoc on my world. I asked you over and over to keep me safe,
As a woman now, I marvel at the absolutely awesome relationship we have, God. You have shown me how to be with you through all that comes my way. And boy, have terror and triumph had their turns in my life. I'll keep asking you, God, to keep me safe because I don't understand the twists and turns. I only understand they cannot not come. Same as you cannot not be with me. For it is I who believes you are not somewhere, and you are God, and you are everywhere.
Thank you. Okay, that's. Who wants to go first?
My name's Melanie. I'm an addict. What I've got written down here is one of my favorite verses that made me think of what this said. It said, "Don't worry about tomorrow." Oh, yes, I need that. Oh, I got that. Okay. It says, "Don't worry about tomorrow. God will take care of tomorrow. Just live one day at a time." That really sticks with me through a lot of things, especially the 9 months that I did in jail. I really leaned up on that verse a lot. My higher power, when I read this, it just made me think of all the times he has showed up and showed out for me, especially when I was in the worst of the worst of the worst of times. When I didn't think God would want to talk to me, well, my higher power didn't want to talk to me, when I thought that he didn't want to be there for me because I made these awful, horrible decisions, is actually when he talked to me the most, when he showed himself to me the most. A quick little story that made me think that I was thinking of when I read this was when I was in California. I was walking on the streets, and there was always churches and stuff that come out on certain days, you know, that give the homeless people food and stuff like that. And I'd stopped by this, it was on a corner, it was on the most awful street probably of downtown San Diego. And this lady had stopped me, and she just said she gravitated towards me. She had no idea who I was. And she stopped, she goes, "I need to pray for you." And I was just like, okay. And I let her, and she told me, she said, "I just feel like there's so many people out there praying for you right now. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know where you're at in your life, or if you're even supposed to be here right now, but I can tell you that wherever you're from, you have a lot of people that's praying for you right now." And sure enough, there was. Back at home, you know, I was running for a very long time. I did have a whole lot of people that was praying for me to come home and to live a better life. And it was just crazy how God was talking to me through that woman. Well, my higher power was talking to me through that woman. You know, I was at the bottom of the bottom that you could probably get at that time, and he was still showing up and showing out. It says right here, it says, "God, you have shown me how to be with you through all that comes my way, and boy, have terror and triumph had their turns in my life," and they've had, and he's still there, and he's still here now. So that's all I got.
Thanks. Thanks for sharing.
I'll share. My name's Brittany, and I'm an addict.
Hey,
Hey,
Brittany.
Brittany.
This was the page I done exactly the day my husband got killed 3 weeks ago. And I don't really want to write what I wrote, but I went home. He got killed on Thursday. I went home on Friday, and to do all that stuff for him, and I couldn't have done it without God, because God is the only thing that kept me clean. I did it sober every day, and I wanted to get high, like just to numb everything out and try to make it go away, but I didn't. But I couldn't have done it without God. I really couldn't have, and that's all I got.
Thanks for sharing.
My name's Emily, and I'm an addict.
Hey, Emily.
This makes me think of all the circumstances that God has brought me out of. I've been through some very low places, but He never left me. I ended up a much better person than I was to ever begin with. And there's a certain situation that I remember, like, it was after I'd been arrested a couple times, and I was on the run. And this is right before I got into recovery, and I had gotten into a situation that was I was going to die. And I remember sitting out in the driveway, like, just so broken. I just remember, like, looking up to the sky and just questioning, like, why am I still here? Why am I going through this? Like, God, if you're really here, like, please show me, because I am ready to die. And I just like sat there for a couple hours and was just talking, and like he saved me. It took like a couple days, but I was able to get out of the situation that I was in, and I went to jail, and I got myself like put in jail because I was in such a bad spot. Like I was so scared for my life that I knew that jail was the only place where I was going to be safe in that moment. And after I went to jail, I got released into a halfway house or a 3/4 house, and my journey started. And it'll be 2 years this year. No, I haven't been clean the whole time. I've relapsed as part of my story, but each time I have gone back out or gone back to jail, I have been taught some type of valuable lesson, and God shows up and shows out in my life, and it has brought me to a point to where so many doors have been opened. Like I have such a strong foundation now, and I'm gonna continue to keep building that foundation. And God is a big part of my life. I've truly like opened my eyes and opened my heart to Him and His will for me, and not just running in self-will or just turning it over and taking it back. That's something that I still struggle with every day. Am I perfect at it? No. Will I ever be? Probably not. But I'm a lot better than where I began, and the only way that I could be here today is through God. So that's all I got.
For sure.
Thanks for sharing.
Jessica, I'm an addict.
Hey Jessica.
Jessica.
It makes me think about attending church as a little girl. I was very involved. I remember memorizing the books of the Bible in order, and my Sunday school teacher had me stand up in front of the church and recite them, and they gave me this little award. I mean, I remember the dresses I used to wear, and I remember my Sunday school teacher's face when I got saved. Because I had a lot of burdens that a lot of people didn't have at 8. So I like to think about those good times instead of the bad times. That's all I have.
Thanks for
Thanks
sharing.
for sharing.
I'm Kim and I'm an addict.
Hey Kim.
It reminds me of when I was a little girl, and my great-grandmother, we went to church every Sunday with my aunt, and my great-grandmother felt like everything that I did, I was going to hell. So God was this punishing God that I was really scared of, but somehow it didn't stop me from doing the bad things, hitting my sister, I was going to hell, calling my sister a liar, I was bound for hell's fires. Just a quick little funny story, we lived in the country and we didn't go to town much. One day we went to town and an 18-wheeler blew its horn. And I remember falling in the floorboard screaming, "It's Gabriel blowing the trumpets, it's Gabriel blowing the trumpets," petrified. And that's terrible. But I remember when I realized that God loved us also, that He wasn't just a punishing God, that He loved us and that He didn't put us through bad things. I made the choices that got me in the situations that I was in, but God was still there. People, when I went to jail, I got 6 years, and I knew that I was going to do that 6 years, but I also knew that God was going to be with me and that I was going to change my life. And He was there every day, and He gave me peace. I got baptized in there. He brought churches in there for the first time ever that was teaching classes about recovery and codependency and all the issues that we deal with in recovery, anger issues. So He saved my life by letting me go to jail. He says He punishes or corrects who He loves. So He definitely showed me that He loved me, and He was there for me, and didn't leave me alone in the worst place that you would have thought could have been. But I had peace and I was happy. And still to this day, for some reason, He loves me enough to give me peace on just about everything. My mind may wander for a little bit, and I'll start to worry, because I am human. But as soon as I can tell myself to bring myself back to Him, I have that peace again, and I'm just very thankful to Him for that. That's all I got.
Thanks for sharing.
Loosen this. Hopefully it's not shaking it and scratching it. I'm Lisa and I'm an addict.
Hey, Lisa.
With a few 24 hours clean, I probably have a lot of God aha moments and showing up and showing out. But
one most recently that comes to mind, and I've shared this recently somewhere else, is back during the summer there was an event, Unity on the Bridge, is that it? Recovery on the Bridge? Whatever. Unity on the Bridge. Which starts early in the morning, and if anybody knows me, they know I'm not a morning person. But a friend of mine called and asked if I would go with her, so I agreed to meet her and go, which wasn't something I'd normally do. Now, on a side note, I was really in a place of feeling distant from NA and recovery and just God too, just feeling kind of floating on my own. And honestly, I was considering leaving NA, not to go use, which of course eventually would have happened, but it wasn't like I was leaving to go use. I just didn't feel a purpose in NA anymore. I didn't have a direction. I just didn't have a reason to be here. So I went to that event, and I'd kind of been praying about a new sponsor. I love my last sponsor to death. He taught me a lot, but he was just getting really, really busy and not having a lot of time to meet up, and I was just getting more and more stagnant. I don't have very much self-discipline to do things unless somebody's making me do it. And when I showed up to that event, I saw Veronica there, Veronica was my first sponsor that I worked steps with 11 years ago. And those early recovery lessons of you don't have to use no matter what, just keep coming back, all of those things that you learn, that lingo in early recovery that help you stay clean, that I don't have to use even if I want to. That blew me away because I used against my will for quite a while before I came into recovery. I wanted to stop but didn't know how. So the concept of I don't have to use even if I want to blew me away. But anyway, for me, that was definitely God showing up and showing out and putting Veronica back in my life. We've hooked back up as sponsor and sponsee, and and I, again, already learning lessons, and I'm back on the first step again after going all the way through the steps, and just being in this process with her again, I'm immensely grateful for her. So for me to show up at an event at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is not something I would normally do, definitely was God getting me and her hooked back up for sure. So I have my renewed, relationship with a higher power, with NA, back with step work, feeling like I'm progressing and serving a purpose, and all that good stuff. So that's all I got.
Thanks for sharing.
Lucy.
I guess. Or are y'all gonna talk more? Or?
I'm an addict named Veronica,
Hey, Veronica.
a recovering person, or whatever you want to call me. I'm Veronica. The first thing I want to say, Brittany, did you say that it was this week, last week,
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, your partner,
He was
person?
hit by a train.
Wow, I'm sorry for your loss. It just made me think early in recovery when I was in rehab. In fact, that rehab that I was telling you where I dropped that dish, where I fell in front of everybody, Bernie, who was, my daughter's father, he was the person in my life since I was 15 years old. They found him dead in the streets of Philadelphia of a drug overdose, and he laid 10 days in the morgue before he was identified, and I was in that rehab. And I believe if I had not been in that facility and had all that support around me like you have, I don't believe I would have made it, they just got around me and they helped me stand when I couldn't, and I didn't know how to feel, but I'm so grateful that I stayed clean through that. So I'm sorry for what's happened, but you are like in the best possible place to have all this love and all this care around you, even though it might not, may or may not feel it at times. God's got you. And He's got all of us, as you guys have heard. When we journal and you write things down in recovery, you don't know how God's going to use things. I mean, I wrote these things all these years ago, but going back from that, when I say I was a little girl crying all over your books, it was like Jessica was saying, I was abused as a child. I was abused, I was molested, I had all these, I lived in like a horror show. And so I had the Bible, and then my brother became a Hare Krishna, so I was like, God, I don't know which one of you to even pray to, so I'll pray to y'all, But you know, I just learned early on that no matter what I called God, it didn't matter, that God was still there for me, you know. And then even as I got into addiction and all the things that were happening, I knew I never wanted to be living that way. I knew I never wanted to be doing the things that I was doing to other people or the lifestyle. But I didn't know how to get out of it, but I never stopped calling God. And I believe that he never stopped trying to be there for me. You know how they have that little thing that says, you know, a guy was drowning on the roof, or he was on the roof, and he was like, God, a boat comes by, and the guy's like, oh no, God's going to save me, and the boat goes along, and then something else goes by, and he's like, no, God's going to save me, and then the third one's like, no, I'm cool, God's going to save me, and then he dies. He drowns. He goes to heaven, he's like, God, why did you save me? He's like, God, I sent you 3 things. So I kind of feel like even when I was out there, all them times I had people from faith that had strong faith picking me up, helping me out, and I did wrong to them, you know, and I made the amends for them later, but like during that time, I just believe it was God watching my back and keeping me safe. And then in recovery, when in here it talks about whether life's terror or whatever that's wreaking havoc in my life, that I know that God is there through it all, and because God can't not be there. You know, God is God, so no matter what comes down the pike, like right now with this coronavirus, like I think about that. That's when you were reading that, I was thinking about how stuff is shutting down all over the place. Our meetings, we've got at least 3 meetings down in Chattanooga that the facilities closed down, and they've come over to where our home group is at the First Church in Nazarene.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the Chattanooga area and you're looking for any of them other meetings, maybe we'll put a post up there. But there's other ways to have meetings. You can have meetings on the phone, technology, on Facebook. So we'll make use of the technology. You know, today it's like things happen, you know, but I am so grateful that I have a relationship with my higher power, the one that works for me. Like, and that I can still learn. Like, I don't close my mind to learning things. Like, my daughter had flown in, and she lives out in Utah, so I don't get to see her. I was like, she said it was 6 years. We see each other all the time on FaceTime. Like, we talk every week, but I don't actually get to put my hands on my daughter, right? So she came out, and we were talking, and she told me that she gets tired in the afternoon, and she takes like a siesta, like a 20-minute, and she did it while she was in the car with me. We're going to Huntsville. Well, and then she put her head down, and then she woke up, and it was like, I'm back on. So I said, I'm going to try that, because I have to stay up later sometimes, and I'm like, let me try that. So before I came here, I was waiting on Lisa, and I remember what my daughter said, so I said, you know, I'm going to just do like a 17-minute siesta, a meditation. So I told Siri to set an alarm. You can do this. I said, Siri, set an alarm for 17 minutes. And I closed my eyes, and I did this countdown. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh, this is meditation. I'm like, yo, God, what's up? Right, so there I am in the Food City up here, laying down in the car, totally relaxed. And I appreciated that quiet time so much. Thank you, Bernadette, if you're watching this. And then I texted her and I let her know, like, hey, I called it a meditation fiesta. So I'm grateful that, you know, to have a life in recovery. I'm grateful that even though I have problems, and even though who knows what's going on with this coronavirus. I mean, I know Julie came in, and what did she say? She said that her school is shut down. Right, was that UTC?
That's UTC.
UTC, and then she's like, saying, everybody wash your hands, scrub your hands when you come in and out. Like, it's just, we're going to go through it here probably in Chattanooga now. So we'll have to, you know, and then other people are saying, someone told me they bought like, I don't know, they bought a case of toilet paper or whatever.
Hamilton County schools are shut down to the 7th of March.
Yeah, so Hamilton County schools have shut down. So God's got this, and I trust it, and I trust God, and for whatever havoc comes, we know God is still there for us, and we need to know that. So I'm glad that I got a chance to come up here with these ladies, and we're going to close, and then we're going to do a stress relief treatment. We're going to do a couple fun things before we leave out of here today. So does anybody have anything else that they want to say? Okay, we just want to say, if you're home and you're struggling, go get you some recovery. Don't sit there alone. Or if you're just a regular person, don't sit there alone. If you're afraid about the coronavirus or anything else, reach out and call someone, or go head over to Veronica Slack on Facebook, and you can babble on there as much as you want to. Okay. So let's close with the Serenity Prayer, and then we'll go on to the next thing. God,
God,
grant
grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference, just for today.
Okay. Alrighty now. So the first stress relief treatment that we're going to do is put our books away. Alright, let's get, you grab that and let's get it out on the table. So I'll start to get stuff out. Okay, so with the stress relief, okay, and with that, I'm going to put you in charge of that. Just pull it over closer to you because that has our towels in it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, ladies, is roll your sleeves up like this. And then take, Lisa, where are you going?
Do it for them. You don't have to.
No, oh no. 1, 2, 3, Lisa, get back in here. You're doing a stress relief treatment, miss. She's
Do I
trying to hide. Come on, you can hide, but you cannot.
I tried.
You tried? All right. You put my rings away. Hello. All right, stay down there. Put them in my pocket. All right, so I got a bag of fun things here. Okay, so the first stress relief that we're going to do is take your rings off and your bracelets. And in recovery, so I have the stress relief center down there at the flea market. So we do scalp treatments, neck treatments, back treatment, feet treatments, feet treatments, and hand treatments. So the one thing, first thing I'm going to pass around. Was there one more? No,
I think she needs a bathroom or something.
Oh, okay. So first, this is just a toner. It's just witch hazel with mixed with water. So it's a very light toner. Just rub your arms with it.
What's witch hazel?
Witch hazel is, in aesthetics, we just use it as a toner. It balances the pH on the skin. So anytime you cleanse your face or do anything, we always tone the skin. So we're just going to start off with that because we actually do facials on hands, arms, feet. Yeah, this is a new thing.
I want to do someone's feet with it.
Okay, no, we're not. We're going to do hands. But the thing that I want you to know, get a squirt, 2 squirts.
We got to do it ourselves? That's
No,
not stressful.
no, chill. All right, now what I want you to
She told me.
do, and take it off your hand and put it on your arm up there like that.
1, 2.
Yep. Okay, so the thing you need to know about, just a little bit that's left on your finger, just start to rub into your hands. So the thing that you need to know about stress relief is if you are the person giving a stress relief treatment to someone, people call it all different kinds of things, but whether they want to call it your energy, your whatever, I just call it your vibe. You know, your feeling, your emotions. It's really that. Your emotional state, whatever you want, or whatever you're on. Wherever you're at and whatever you're feeling can be transferred to another person.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I do a stress relief treatment, I always make sure when I go in that I'm peaceful so that I don't pass that on. Because just like you could pass anger on to someone or different things. Pick a partner. So use two, or no, me, you, use two, and here, this is what we'll do. Okay, so I'm going to first do your hands, okay, and then you'll do mine. Okay. So we're going to do a 5-minute treatment. So first thing you do is everybody turn to your person, get in the chair so that you're trying to face each other, okay? And the person giving it, okay, just get your chairs turned to each other. Okay, first thing I want you to do is realize, make sure your sleeves are up high. Get your sleeves up. Okay, and make sure you got we got the microphone turned towards us. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is take one arm. Can you get your sleeves up a little bit higher? Now remember, you're going to transfer peace to this person. So first thing, just take your hands and rub them right down the top.
And
And
you
then
do this
around
at the
this.
flea market?
Yeah. So now we're going to do one arm at a time. So take one arm, and then I want you to take your hands like this. Watch me. See this? And then I want you to grab and squeeze and pull. Like that. And then you just relax. And then make like circles as you go down the arm. And then just let your peacefulness just transfer. Then come out the thumb and the baby finger. And then come down in between. And then get the next finger. You can watch me. You see what I'm doing? And then make sure you get the skin in between the fingers there. And then take her hand and go like that. And then pull the
She's
fingers
just
out.
laughing. She's not
That's
relaxing.
okay. Relax. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, she could maybe turn a little more, so she really needs it. All right, so now turn the hand over. Rub the hand, and I want you to take your fist like this. And then take your fist and push in. Give a little bit of weight to it. And then just go all the way out and let your hands follow all the way out through the fingers. If you're home, you can do this too. I don't know if you guys can see. And then I want you to take your hand and then get her palm and pull out. And then just go back up the arm. And then just think, come up here and then watch this. Massage up by the bicep and then pull all the way through her fingers, like you're pulling that stress right out.
You can literally feel
I
it
know.
though. You can
Yep.
feel it when you
Then
do that.
don't let go, and then take your hand and push back up, and then back. Make sure you get her little elbow, that little dry spot in the elbow there. Squeeze.
She's saying you go across the elbow.
No, well, everybody has it. And then again, make sure you press hard, and then pull the stress right out, all the way, applying pressure through the fingers. And now just come up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then pull again. And then make sure you pull out through the fingers. Okay. Now I'm going to pass them down, and then rest her arm down, and then open one of these up.
Now, did you go to school for this, or is this something you taught?
No, I designed them. Open this up and go like this. Put it on her skin, and then I want you to grab at it like that. Actually, we need 2 of them, because I usually have something different that I use, but we're going to make do with what we've got. This will get the excess, but you actually want to squeeze while you're doing it. It almost feels like a cloth. Usually I have a cloth.
No.
So just imagine you're wiping that off of the arm.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you're going to go to the other arm, and you again relax. Again, start your squeeze, and as you're squeezing, you're moving that stuff around, or the stuff, yeah. That's a hyperallergenic massage cream. It's called Silk. And then pull.
Yeah, that's the best part of the massage, when I get massages in my hands and fingers. She never does it very long though.
Yeah, I only do 5 or 15 minutes.
Well, she don't even
That's
do
all
5
you need.
minutes. Well, I've got an hour.
No, massage therapist won't, but for stress relief, if you just get 5 minutes, you'll be surprised what 5 minutes will. You'll see at the end of this.
Now we don't have,
Gotta
let
be
me use this on you and then we'll get more from me.
Didn't you wipe some on both arms, the way I said? Oh,
Taylor.
I mean, maybe I did a little bit, but it wasn't enough.
She's a massage therapist too, so she needs to get in on this.
She's probably tired of rubbing on people then.
I actually haven't been able to in a long time. I got my table with me though. I got all my stuff filled out and ready to send in for my license. Just gotta get my fingerprints and background
Flip the
check.
hand over and press into it.
Oh, I bet that's nice. Hello.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna tell my massage therapist next time I do more on my fingers and less on something else. I don't know what, but
You don't realize how good it actually feels on your hands when you actually have it done.
Yeah. We're going.
Okay, now we're going to it off because we want to get to the next treatment. So somebody, the other person, you don't get the hand treatment. But you're going to get the next treatment. Lisa's gone. You'll be okay, Lisa. All right. So what I'm going to do is. I'm going to wipe my hands here. Does that feel good?
Yeah.
Do you want to just wipe your hand on that and then get one more?
Oh man, that's hot. Ooh,
Yeah,
that feels
just
good.
pass it down and wipe your hand real quick and then we'll dry them on. Where did I put all of them? Here. Here, and then just get a clean napkin. Pass a clean napkin afterwards. Okay. So, and then after we're all done, we're all going to wash our hands again. Everybody, when we're all done, we're all going to wash our hands again because now, the next thing that we're going to do, okay, now this next thing, ladies, all right, let's start with this toner. Oh. Okay, so this next thing is called, just go ahead, is called the Hyena Facial, okay? This facial could cost $200 if you actually went to a spa to get it. First thing I want you to do is go ahead and
You
tone
can do
your
my arms and
hands.
hands. I don't want it on my face.
Yeah, oil isn't going on our faces. But what we're doing for the, okay, who wants to do the hyena? Because we're all getting it. Everybody gets it.
Facial?
No, it's a hyena facial, so it's something different.
Oh, okay.
Does it
All right.
laugh?
You're going to find out. You just have to say you're going to do it. You want to do it? Here, everybody take one of these. Pass it. You got to do it, Lisa. You got to do it. Let's live a little, okay? Everybody you're going to open this up.
Oh, this is a hairnet.
Yes, this is the hair. You're going to pull your hair back. Okay? I promise you, you're gonna get a lot of stress.
Thank God I did not.
We're gonna get a lot of stress relief
I'm
from
not
this.
gonna do it.
What?
My skin is sensitive.
Okay, so you can do hers, right? You can do hers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do.
Ooh, this is
All right. First off, we're gonna again take the spoon, take this, and put about a teaspoon on your hand, and then
like that much?
yeah, and then
Is
switch.
that too much?
No, that's not too much. And then we're going to switch people. So you come over here, you go over there, so that we all get to interact. Okay? And then use two, since you're not going to do it, use two just stay.
You're not doing it either?
I'm doing it.
Yeah, she's doing it. We're all doing
Then
it.
let me get here.
Jessica can't do it because she don't, but Jessica can do her, and you two are doing each other. You two are doing each other, and she's doing her. We're good.
You step over.
Okay, so now here's another one.
So you gotta get yours.
Now this one,
I had to do the same last time.
this is stress relief. You're getting it on you. Did you get some? Everybody load their hand up.
Other hand. I put it on
Like
my
that.
arm.
You can,
I don't need it if she's doing it to
no,
me.
you're doing it to her too at the same time.
I didn't get my arms and hands done.
All right, this is the part.
Sheila, I love you.
I don't want to do it.
I love you. You're my
Well,
angel.
now someone
I'll
has
do
to-
it for her.
No, but the whole idea of the hyena facial is both people have to do it to each other. Then these two can do it.
You don't want me such a face. It's
Come
okay.
on. All right, so now this is how you do the hyena. All right, everybody wipe their face with that already? Right,
Wait,
we all
no.
did that?
Wipe her face with what?
With this, with the toner.
Oh no, I put it on my hands.
All right, go like this. Get a little bit of toner and just wipe your face like that.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay. And you do this as.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
All right, now, so the whole idea with stress relief is you are relaxing and you are
What?
enjoying stress relief. So the first thing you're going to do is look at your person. Hello, Brittany. How are you?
Are y'all through with that?
And
Yeah.
okay, and what you're gonna do is I want to put my glasses on, but I'm gonna go without my glasses, and you're gonna look at them, and you're gonna go like this. Think Indian, Native American, and then you get a turn, and then she gets a turn.
Like that?
Yeah. Yeah. So again,
I need it to me.
this is the Hyena Facial. Go ahead.
They are under.
Any way you want. You're drawing on my
This isn't
face.
stress relieving, having to
Yeah.
stop to do it to somebody else.
Yeah, well, you're not getting you're getting a hyena. Enjoy and relax.
Oh, okay, keep doing it.
All right, yeah, and then take the blue and do something like this. Look, I'm giving you examples. Look, see, she's getting a hyena. It's happening. All right. All right, good time.
Come on.
All right. Oh, did you get blue? No, did you got blue? Yes.
See, it does make you laugh.
I told you it's the hyena facial.
No smoky. No smoky. Smoky. Oh my
Mixed with
God.
the other?
Yeah, do it however you like with both of these.
Look,
Okay.
can you hold me, please?
I'm gonna do swigglies.
Now I'm getting my phone out in a minute.
No, you're
No, you
not.
ain't.
Yes,
Oh
I am.
yeah, oh yeah.
Are we still recording?
Yes.
Yeah, you're on Facebook getting a hyena facial. Turn your
I
head
did
down.
it over and I was like, oh no.
I see a chunk.
Your turn.
So now are we supposed to rub it in?
Not yet, just you're still painting. And
She's painted.
I can go.
You touched mine.
She touched me.
I'm not touching you.
I think I'm gonna do a circle right there.
Where? Oh, yeah, I gotta get this way.
Julie, come look at this.
Yeah.
There we go. Let me get some blue over here. Some right there.
My top stash.
Oh, you just gave me an idea. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
What's that?
mustache. There you go. She's got like a little French mustache going on. Oops. Darn you, that.
There we go. Okay, is that good?
Yeah. Okay, so now let's get the excess and not make a mess in here. Okay, get the excess and put it in these little things.
I'm just kidding.
Lisa was nice.
I got Lisa good.
Okay.
I got it all over. It's just not designed.
All right.
Okay, so I use these? Or do you
Yeah,
need
yeah,
this?
you just don't know. You can take them. They're just 4x4s to. Okay.
Y'all still got 4x4s over there, or do you need another one?
We still got some.
Okay, so now you can just take a little squirt of this and rub it to your hands like that, real quick. All right, and then just put your hands like this.
Oh wow, that feels weird.
Yeah.
And rub it in pretty much.
Yeah, just move it out.
You going first?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, no, here, let me go ahead. Yeah. Unless she's gonna stop it again and I get nothing. She's gonna fuss at me on the way home for being ugly.
Yeah, no, we need a picture. You need, Lisa, let them see your face. Lisa's looks good.
I used to, but if I'm not careful, my skin will get really gooey.
Yeah, like you don't do it because like people that do get bumps and stuff. You said, I don't know what age.
Try not to poke you in the eye.
Okay. Now, Jessica, can you have a hot cloth on your face? Because now we've got hot rags for everybody.
Oh man.
I don't want.
Okay, just pass this down to her,
Pass
and
that.
when.
Kim.
Here.
Thank you.
So now I'm gonna do you first, and then we'll get yours out. So don't burn, just check on your wrist like this, like shake it, because these are hot from being in the thing. Okay, so just close your eyes,
I'm trying to think of the things that feel good to me when I get a
and then just
massage.
think, relax.
I'm gonna put it in your eyebrows. You can take a shower.
Okay.
Because that feels good to me.
Now normally you could just let this dry. Is that it?
It's a little
Okay.
burnt.
Okay.
It's okay.
Pull your lip down, pull your top up.
All right.
Okay, your turn. So when you wipe, see, you just kind of hold the end like this.
Oh, y'all look gorgeous. Love it.
You're
Love
getting a
it.
hyena
Oh,
facial.
Shiva, I love you, but you really can't go. If you could, believe me.
We look at it as like this.
She thinks she's going.
I know, it's breaking my heart.
I'm gonna rub it all in first.
And normally, if you were getting a facial, you would be laying down. So I'm just showing you that one of the nice things to do when you ladies are here, especially if you get stuck in, is you can do little facials on each other just for fun, you know?
Oh yeah, Mama Cam's gonna be doing this.
Luke, are you eating?
Hey, hey Julie, you want one?
No, thank you.
Sure you do, Julie. Get in here, let's get her.
Luke, you need to do your chores over here, buddy, as soon as you're done. Because women they don't fix the bags, they push it down.
I never gave a facial, but I hope I'm doing this right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm so
you
sore.
need, oh, you already got it, okay. Now, I'm gonna just take my hands again, with the toner, and I'm just gonna go. You can tap like this.
Hell, I'll do it. Screw it.
Come on!
It feels so good.
Come sit right here, come sit right here.
Probably need it after
Veronica
sweating.
will hook you up.
Yeah,
Wait, is this gonna go? Is this on Facebook?
yeah,
Yeah.
get over here. Just come sit down, you don't get a choice now, you're
Yeah,
right.
we're sharing
You're right.
coronavirus.
Yeah, no, alright, let's see.
I was in there doing all kinds of research on it.
The
Okay.
coronavirus.
Now, where is?
I think we got
My
to
daughter's in
hot rag.
California, there's 198 confirmed cases in
How many?
California. 198. And there's just as many people that are ages 18 to 60. There's more people with ages 18 to 64 with it that
Have
are
you got
confirmed
any
than
more
older.
Hot rags?
Wonder how it's
Yes,
working on
everybody
kids.
gets one. You're in charge of the.
There's only
talk.
4
Okay.
kids
Save me
with it.
one. I saved her one.
Yeah, in California.
This is gonna help with my acne.
Huh?
It's
It'll
gonna
give
help.
you acne.
Yeah, you can let hers get.
You just
get
announced
mine
it.
down on Facebook.
I have acne, so it's gonna help with that.
What is this?
It's one of them. Just
Oh.
put it in your face.
To hold your hair back.
So I need to let mine sit for a while since I want to help mine with
I
acne.
don't know how to do
Yeah,
this.
you can let it dry. It'll
There you
dry
go.
and then
Then
you
you
just.
Pull it up
And then
some
when
there.
and then what you
There
do
you
go.
is,
My face feels
once
so
you go to
good.
take it off, you have to
Hey,
let the
Paul,
washcloth sit
want
on your
one?
face for a minute.
It'll help you with your face.
It feels
What's
so
that? I
good.
don't like
It's a
what's
dog
like
butt.
that.
It's a dog butt on you.
Okay. I think this is good.
What is this?
This is just mud for the face. Out of your garden outside, I picked it. No, just. All right, this is called the Hyena Facial. Because normally you wind up looking like, got a few other colors. But now, you guys didn't get this. Julie's going to get this one. She's going to get the brush too. So you just kind of do it to each other. This is like, you do it's just for, for stress relief. Okay? I'm going to put my glasses on.
You have a lot of class.
All right, Julie.
You kicked
First thing we're gonna do is, I'm gonna put 2 pumps in your hand and then just wipe your face. This is just a toner. Do you have mascara?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're not gonna go on your eyes anyway. Alright.
You're gonna have to wash your face just to let you know if it's in your eyebrows.
That's fun.
So the idea with this is to have fun, and first you're making a drawing on someone's face.
I can't believe Lisa's doing this.
But trust me.
Alright, so now, yeah, Lisa gave us a hard time a little bit, but we got her in. Alright, so now,
I'm gonna get fussed at on the way home.
now we're gonna do polka dot. Pull your lip down, we're gonna get you a mustache there going on. Hello! Oh yeah, we'll get her real French here. Oui, oui.
You got it all over your nose.
It's okay.
There we go. Oh wait. There you go.
Yeah. You ready for yours?
Don't
Come on,
laugh,
you
Joel.
want to sit some more.
Don't laugh, Joel. That's called little pig happers.
Is it too warm?
That's good.
Alright, now we're gonna.
Mud it.
Right, then it's a-
Yeah,
What is that?
This is just mud. Guys, we should put some whiskers on her, huh?
Oh. Lava poo.
Mm-hmm.
Do her some cat whiskers.
I'm trying. It's all blended. Okay. We're gonna have to make sure we wipe her table. Okay.
Now we rub it in.
We'll get there.
You don't have
You
to.
gotta look at Facebook there and let them see your face.
Hey, Luke.
Ain't your mama pretty?
All right, now I'm gonna just wet my fingers a little bit. All right,
This
turn
feels
turn
very
it to this way as much
Those guys missed out.
I know.
pull your.
How bad is it on my arm?
So we did a hand
It's
treatment
not
for
too
stress
bad. There is a
relief.
little blue in
Right?
there. You can see a
And
little bit of
then-
blue. That's not too
Then
bad.
just for,
Yeah, if
you
it
know,
was
when the
fresh.
ladies are stuck in the
Yeah.
house for things to do, you know what I mean? Like to pass time and to relieve stress, especially if that
Get blue
coronavirus
there.
comes up, you know?
Yeah.
These guys getting stuck in the house for a bit.
Hot wreck?
You're pretty cleaned up.
Not yet, not yet.
Let it sit for a while.
And then
Yeah,
what?
normally you
Put
can
the
let it
water
dry and it'll just
Yeah.
pull things out of your skin, but for
Yeah.
the sake
Hey,
of
Veronica, we put
TV.
that water on afterwards?
The what?
We put that on?
Yeah, that's just a toner, so that will just balance your, the pH on your skin.
Uh-oh.
Paul, I'm gonna need you to massage my back. It's like my arm's going numb again.
All right, now,
That's not bad.
Okay.
It just always does.
Yeah, I'm
When
starting to have
so
that
whenever
problem.
you get one of these out of the hot thing, you always wanna cool it down and then check
Gotta
it.
be
before you
careful when you
put it
come
on
up
someone's
behind
face.
me and try smacking me like
All
that.
right, come here.
I got more on than I did.
Get up and walk it out.
No.
Gotta get up and walk it out.
know. I love it. That's so good, that man.
Walk.
What'd you do, dead legging?
No.
Facebook.
I don't know what,
Facebook Live, dear, that's perfect.
They're like, oh, I'm not now.
Better than spreading the coronavirus.
What the men do when the women are getting
What?
facials.
yeah, really,
That's right.
pull your lip down. Yeah, don't lick the rag, Jolie.
Feels clean, like really clean.
Yeah, normally you would be laying down for a facial, but with this one, when you're doing them for fun, the hyena one especially, you get, the more colors you get, the more colorful you can get on your face.
Oh no.
More colorful.
Did you give your phone a
Yeah.
facial?
Yes,
Just
you
a
did.
little bit.
Yeah, and my shirt and my pants.
All right, now I'm gonna tone your skin.
No. There we go.
I have a shirt almost just like that. If I'd
This.
known you was wearing that, I would have worn it when we were twins.
I got another one that's the opposite. This part's gray, and then this part is like a hunter green.
Yeah. I can't remember, something's a little different about it, and maybe I had more gray in it than brown.
Yeah, I bought two when I bought them.
Yeah,
The other one's the opposite.
I like the Cather's is better though. Mine's like more like a sweatshirt
Yeah.
type feeling.
Yeah, fleecy.
Yeah.
No, I'm listening to them over there.
Okay.
He's like, you can't.
All right, now you gotta wipe Veronica.
Yes. And we gotta clean the tape, we gotta clean the table up. And you still have some on your,
Lip ring?
yeah.
I'll get it off.
I don't know, I was gonna ask you what you did for dinner, or what you wanted.
What?
He took care of himself. Oh, Lord.
How's your face feel?
Clean.
It does.
Yeah, very.
Very.
I hope that helps with my
Does it feel more youthful?
It does. What do you know, Melanie? You've barely been born.
You're already useful.
Yeah. She went back into the womb and made her feel more useful. Her wore diapers.
Shut up.
Let me catch you in a diaper.
Get you a passy.
You have a lot of people who haven't had a full facial, have not had somebody touch their face like maybe since their mom or since they were little. So when they get a facial, it's very, very relaxing.
Yeah, I feel weird about somebody
Yeah.
touching my face.
Especially
I do
when,
too.
Yeah.
Probably not you.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
just,
it's like,
it's very personal.
I like it.
and
I can jerk back a little bit if somebody tries to touch it.
She did a good job.
mhm.
How do you keep your eyebrows so perfect?
That's just the way they
Yeah.
kind of grow now. When you hit 50s,
Yeah, they stop.
they just the hair.
You don't always. Do you always get them waxed? Do you pluck them
No,
yourself?
I don't. They don't really grow in that much more than that. Just down in here. I
They grow so perfect.
Yep. All right. So now we're all had our
Yeah.
stress relief. Does everybody feel like they're relieved of some stress?
Yeah.
I feel like my
So,
face
see?
is clean for once.
Yeah.
It's soft.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. So the whole thing is with stress relief is it doesn't have to be a whole lot of time, you know, like we have with the hands. You know, when you're, even if you're just with a friend, you just can do that, you know, or you come down there to the recovery center and you can get it down there, 5-minute treatment or 15. But the idea is, you know, instead of doing other things, we can find, in recovery, you start to
Like
find
sleep all day.
things that actually really help you to relax. Like that. So that's it. That's what we got for you this week, Facebook.
Do they just get thrown away?
Yeah, you can keep it, but we gotta clean the table up, clean up, leave things
That was
better than
that
we
was
find them.
so much fun.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
and my face was really nice now.
Oh wait, here's your rags. You don't want
Yeah,
this
yeah,
back.
the cloths, I'll take them home and wash them. Yep.
These away.
Saturday and Sunday, if you guys, anybody wants to come down to the stress relief center and sit in the chair. Some people actually will get, from a 5-minute treatment, they'll fall asleep in the chair.
You have to wake them up?
No, they're just like, oh, they'll come up and they'll be like, oh wow, like I was literally falling asleep. Just to let the stress out of our bodies, you know?
I give really good massages.
No, you don't.
That garbage bag somewhere, the garbage.
Yeah, I was
is,
gonna
Yeah,
give
here,
that
Lisa.
massage the other day.
All right, guys,
I'll have to wait.
we're gonna say bye to y'all. Have a good night in recovery. Do the things you're doing, and then just to let you know, and I just
Get a
want,
facial.
I just want to let you guys know, we'll have the Rock and Ride coming on April 18th at White Lightning Harley-Davidson.
Oh.
Down here in Chattanooga, everybody's invited. All these ladies will be down there. You come out and join us. And April 2nd, I will be giving out recovery journals down there at the Volunteer Comprehensive
Yes.
Treatment Center. So if you want to provide some of them for somebody, you can message me, okay? Yeah, so you have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Do yourself a facial, or do yourself a stress relief treatment, or just chill. Bye, everybody. Toodles. I forgot my glasses. Hold on.
We'll get something to wipe on the There's a garbage bag in there now.
Bye.